Hey everyone, Sly47 here. Grand Battles happened this last week, and let's talk about what it was for the people who missed it. Also, pros, cons, and future improvements that could happen in the mode, which I think would really make it, I wouldn't say as good as Respawn, because Respawn is just really good, but it could make it a good, side mode. You know, occasionally you want to drop in, have some fun on it. I think it's a good start. So, let's get into it. Now, for whoever missed it this last weekend, Grand Battles was a 12v12 mode, limited time, larger maps, longer matches specifically, that evaluated kind of to like this almost PC light with blitzes, balancing, and ships at tier 7 specifically was the first test on this. So that's kind of like what Grand Battle is. Let's get into the pros and cons. So let's start off with the pros. Obviously, let's talk about the good stuff about this event before we tear it down and then talk about future improvements on this. I think first and foremost, 12v12, it was a lot of fun. Obviously, we're normal to 7v7, so 12v12, it was a blast at times. There was just so many targets. You really had to think about your ways through different areas, especially when you got a full human team and like that, not a bunch of bots. That's a con, I know. I'm gonna little hit there. But I got about eight people once to fire on a battleship that was almost at full health, and we just annihilated it within about 20 seconds. It was so much fun. I wish I would have got that on recording, but yeah, 12v12, it's something different, and I gotta praise them. You try out things, definitely a good proof of concept, because it was a fun change of pace. It was. Just nothing is like it in Blitz, and of course this is kind of a PC Lite version, or basically World of Warships Legends, but it still is something. It's a different experience for us, and I for its first iteration, I think that it did its job. It was a fun limited time mode, which helped it kind of stay with that population range, which of course Blitz Royale kind of previously had that problem where the population wasn't large enough, so of course keeping it within certain time periods made it capable of being played, but of course that also limited the amount of people who could actually play it, which really pissed me off because I actually wanted to play it, but then I couldn't because there was, just bring back Blitz Royale, or at least contact me. I got some awesome ideas for it. And then finally, of course, the insane damage potential, the number of players, the number of damage that you could get with this. It was a blast. It was. There was significant fun in this mode. It's just needs some tweaks, which I think is expected of any proof of concept. You're gonna need to prove it over time, but really, it was a fun time early, as a proof of concept. Let's see how they change it in the future. All right, on to the cons. Let's talk about this. It's the list is longer. It's a little rougher, but this was a proof of concept. So, this is all in constructive criticism, and let's try to keep the criticism down below in the comments. Constructive. They're all just trying to make a fun game for us. Let's not try to beat them down on this. Let's try to help them make this a better mode and make use of what they spent a lot of hours on for. So first and foremost, the long, slow games. So this is actually, for anyone who's, of course, been around my stream, this is the exact reason why I left PC, is because it was either the first 5 minutes of the game, I'm just sailing. I could be making food right now.
A few moments later.
Nothing else. And then, of course, even at the end of the game when, let's say both your sides completely clean house and middle's just gone straight through for the carriers, and you're just like, okay, I'm back to sailing.
One eternity later.
This is fun. Just standing here. So, the long, slow games, I think they need to specifically hinder on this point. And this is actually something. Maps are huge. Maps are absolutely too big. They seem to almost be like a 50% increase on stuff, but in reality, I think they need to be almost like a 25 to 20% increase. Something bigger, but not insanely bigger, because the fun about Blitz is that it's a 6 to 7 minute game. You're in within a minute and a half, you're firing guns, and by the end of the game, it's 7 minutes. That's in between a meeting or two. Let's say you got a meeting in 15. You could quickly jump on and technically play 2 games. And that's the fun of Blitz. That's the short little burst of dopamine in between your boring, long business day. So to me, I think that they need to combine the two. Is okay, we're going to have bigger matches and bigger maps, but just big enough that it's like, hey, within the first minute or two, you're going guns blazing. You're going having fun, not this 5 minutes almost at the beginning and end, which is just way too long. Next up, Tier 7. I get why they chose Tier 7. Tier 7 is incredibly well balanced. I think it's an amazing tier to even stop at and just enjoy and have a bunch of ships on. They really do handle well in whether or not they're up tier or lower tier. So it's great, and in respawn, it's in a fantastic tier. But the ranges on them, especially with how big the maps are, this kind of just made the whole maps are huge problem even worse. So yeah, I would if you're gonna keep the distances, I'd start talking about 8+ and only. Don't let these large of maps do that and allow that tier to be in there. So 2 carriers. Oh dear God. Who got messed up? Who got completely messed up by like 2 Kagas? Or a Kaga and a Saipan?
Dear God. There's more.
Or even worse, 2 Kagas and 2 Issei's.
No.
Because trust me, I saw that, and that was dear God. No, 1 carrier max. 1 carrier max. That was, if anyone ever ran into a group where both carriers were, actually working together, people were literally just getting annihilated one after another. It was just literally check boxes. They were just checking off an entire side of the map. They didn't care. They had full impunity, and the enemy carrier, or your allied carriers, unless they were Saipans, couldn't do anything against them. So no, don't do that. And then on top of it, unbalanced carriers. How many people had it where you had, maybe your team had a carrier and the enemy team didn't? How is that fair? How is that fair? We know how powerful carriers can be. We know how powerful they can be, and let alone Tier 7 AA is pitiful. I saw Atlanta's get nuked. And they're supposedly probably the best AA on Tier 7. No, don't allow for unbalanced CV play or gaming. Don't. That just ruins the mode. And then finally, almost everyone knows this one's coming. Bots, and so many of them. Let me sit like an extra 30 seconds to get more people in. I don't care. This is an ungodly amount of bots, and this just highlighted so many problems with bots because of the distances were so much longer. And I want to say they're even more erratic than normal. It was really weird. Normally, they kind of change course once every 30 seconds or something like that. I swore I saw one literally do a loop-de-loop 3 times. I did not know what was going on. I was like, I'm just going to fire torpedoes and hope. Hope and dreams. Because I have no idea how to shoot my guns at this thing. It's just spinning on a dime. And I'm like, no. Yeah, no, so many bots. First iterations were rough, but let's talk about future improvements. Let's try to help and be constructive and help make this actually a fun game mode similar to that and maybe Respawn. So, okay, on to future improvements. Now, realistically, I want to quickly take a moment. This was a good proof of concept. Wargaming, great work on that. Great work. It was fun at times. Even though I'm not in love with the mode, I want to say this was a very good, quick and easy proof of concept to see and gauge how much people like it and kind of also get feedback on it. Now, first and foremost, these actually first 2 are kind of and/or. So just kind of take those and/or as a future improvement. Custom maps. So custom maps, if you look at Legends, and I hate to use this as an example, but I was actually watching Pigbay's stream, and we were kind of talking about on there, is that the amount of islands and space in between those islands is actually a lot smaller. You have a lot more island capability going around them, using them as cover, a lot more cover throughout the map, and a lot more kind of the generic play. So custom maps could be a huge benefit to this mode, but I also know that's a lot of work. That is a lot of work to do, especially on a limited time mode and everything like that. And you don't know exactly how many people are going to like it the second time around, how much work you're going to do. And so I mentioned this in the cons, but scaled maps smaller. Just scale them down to about 20, 25-ish. I've already mentioned that. You have an amazing loop wargaming. You have an amazing loop of gameplay where you get into a match, the first 1 to 2 minutes is setup, and then after that, it's guns blazing, let's go. Have some fun. If you end up lasting the match at 6 to 7 minutes, and you're out of the game and you had your fun. Try to make that happen within that 1 to 2 minute area where we engage with the target, not this literally 4 to 5 minutes until we first engage a target. No, it's too long. It doesn't play to your balancing. It doesn't play to kind of your entire environment with everything. So with the ships, ranges, everything, just get back to that 1 to 2 minute engagement time of like, hey, here's the prep. You have 1 to 2 minutes. And then after that, you should be firing your guns if you want maximum damage and stuff. So, my opinion, these first two, custom maps or scaled maps smaller, one or the other needs to happen. I really wouldn't mind custom maps, but I also know the effort that it would take. So, let's go in. Next one, only Tier 8 Plus. It's the ranges at Tier 7 are just starting to get barely usable. Barely. And I know, of course, making some sort of balance for just this mode would probably be a little painful to the developers. So, to me, I think Tier 8 Plus, Tier 7's okay, but I think realistically the ranges of 8, 9, and 10 play better to these larger maps. So, but I understood why you chose Tier 7. It's a great balanced tier, besides CVs, but yeah. I'll go with that. Limit to 1 CV. I think that's pretty plain and simple. I think CVs were able to absolutely dominate the field in so many matches. The skill discrepancy between carrier players just got worse in this mode. And then on top of that, when you had 2 potentially CVs working together, or even, God forbid, 2 CVs and 2 Issei's working together, you weren't going to win. It just was, you don't have the AA, where at higher tiers you kind of have enough AA that you can dwindle their amounts. So maybe you have 2 CVs at higher tiers, but even then I'd just say stick it to 1 CV, especially with how powerful a lot of CVs are right now. Next up, bot fixes. This just showed we need a bot update. We need a bot update. We just need one. Just get rid of the Tokyo drifting. That's all I say, is make their movement predictable. Make them regular. It will help unskilled players learn how to shoot at ships, because the bots will move like us, not have this crazy action mode Tokyo drift that you're moving like a 70,000 ton vehicle or ship within 2 seconds on a dime. That's not how it works. Just don't. Get rid of that Tokyo drift. And bots, they might be easy-ish to kill, but if you can fix them, then the bots won't be that big of an issue in this game mode. And that fixes all bots on all matches and all maps. So do it. Please. Please. Oh my god, I hate bot matches only because of the Tokyo drift. Realistically, that is my biggest problem with them. So I'm gonna concede this last one's a bit of a nitpick, and like a huge nitpick. Just gonna say that right now, like massive nitpick. That top display, make it 6x2, please. That is just, don't know what's going on, but it bothers me when I see that. Like, just make them even. You can make them even. It's not too hard. Or maybe make this mode 14x14 and fix that problem. So you had the 2 more there. It's just really bothersome. It is. It just is. I don't get it, but it bothered me the entire time. I could not look at the top area without being like, just make it 6x2. Just why are they off? Why are they off? I don't get it. I'm sorry. It's a super nitpick, but it just bothered me. Bothered me greatly. But enough of me talking. Let me know what your comments and thoughts. Did I miss something? Did I not miss something? Do you agree? Do you disagree on this mode? What were your thoughts on Grand Battles? Also, what was your favorite ship to play? I know Indianapolis was mine. load of fun, very well balanced for the mode. But Wargaming does watch this, so please keep all comments civil and constructive. They do want to make sure this game is fun for us, so let's give them the ideas that we have, and maybe they might come up with something better by combining ideas and such. So let's do that. Thank you all for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this content, and if you enjoy this channel's content, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe on any platform, join the Discord, and if you really do enjoy and want to help support this channel a little bit more, Patreon link is of course down there as well. Thank you all for the love and support, and have a wonderful day. Peace.
on, Jeffrey.